But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. I see you. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content. I'm being kind of quiet because honestly, my upstairs neighbors are just super nosy. I have an apartment with vaulted ceilings and hardwood floors, so whatever I say, travels. So, anyways, enough said, guys. Today, we're going to talk about how you know you're healing from betrayal. I say this, guys, because I was in my chair and I was listening. I don't know who it was. I was listening to someone. Something triggered like, I'm not paranoid. I'm not anxious, and I have these memories going through my head, but I'm not triggered. I'm not anxious. I'm not worried about who's listening to me. I know they are, but it's because of my place. See, this is like night and day compared to where I was. And I want to give you some inspiration to let you know no matter how dark your days are right now, no matter how dark they are, it gets better. I'll tell you why. I had got my college degree. I moved back to Seattle to be with my dad. I was kind of having a hard time assimilating into society and stuff, right? So I lived with my dad. And then I was betrayed in a very gut wrenching way. Betrayed. And then that moved into gang stalking. It was a lot of other servitude type things. And my life was, off the rails for another 12 years. See, that's what that betrayal lied. It started there. And it blossomed and it got ugly. A lot of people were in my business I didn't know. And then it became the word on the street and all these other it just got crazy and it went too far. So I became homeless. And I was homeless for 2 years during the pandemic. And even then, it was still trying to manifest its way back in my life. So this just went on a long time. And then finally, when I dropped it all, said no more, I got closer with my higher power. I started focusing on myself and helping people along the way. And this was all while being homeless. I started working on myself. I started forgiving myself for certain things. I started noticing that I was an asset to this world rather than a burden. See, I had gone from just feeling like giving up on life, using drugs, and that's another thing. I had to quit drugs. I had to quit alcohol. I had to quit women, all that stuff. I had to focus on myself, and I had to start forgiving people. I had to start realizing that every day I wake up, I have a new chance at life. And if I treated people with the level of respect, right, and I just treated everybody the same way, things got better. You know, like I said, the biggest part, guys, is forgive those who have done you wrong. To not give them ammunition, right? To see what you've done wrong in life. How can you fix yourself? And to realize you're gonna have to give up certain things in life. Like I had to give up a relationship with my son for years. I was unhealthy. My life was unsafe. You know, I was unstable. It was just all bad. So finally, when I started doing all this, I gave up drugs, I gave up women, all these things, and I just focused on myself. And I didn't care if people were following me. I didn't care. It's kind of like I just focused on myself. I knew people were doing wrong in the background, and I kind of gauged where they were going to come from. See, it was a lot of mental work and gymnastics, but I stayed stable long enough to where I could work on me. Forgot about the outside world, forgot about what people think of me. You know, Th- that's one people thing that people don't realize, guys, is that we put too much stock into what people think of us. You know what I mean? If anybody's been a victim of gang stalking, people are lying about you in the background, right? To feed other people's anger so they can keep attacking you, right? You know that, right? But if you treat everybody with kindness, be who you are naturally, the lies will dissipate. The lies will dissipate Be who you are on a consistent basis. And sometimes it's hard to find out who you are because with technology and all that, we lose track of who we are. So talking about getting back to basics, worry about yourself instead of everybody else around you. Get what I'm saying? Get back to center. Get back into contact with your source, right? For me, it's God, my source, my creator. When we get back in touch with that, you got to start. You got to give up everything, guys, and start from the ground up. I hope that gives you inspiration. I hope that really gives you inspiration because that's where it starts. You have to have a solid foundation. You have to tear down your past and lay a solid foundation built on love, compassion, truth, honesty, integrity, and a lot of love for yourself and understanding that in life you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes, but the thing is, you own up to it and you forgive yourself. You're not asking forgiveness from anybody else because it's about you in life. This is your ticket in life. This is your chance in life. I'm telling you that, guys. I'm not going to get into gang stalking. I'll be in for another video. But today, it's for how you know you're healing from betrayal. When you're like me today, I'm able to sit in a room happy by myself, chilling with my cat, and not worried about what people are thinking. Just it's having that center, that peace, that great, that I'm okay. I have everything taken care of for me. And you know what? What they did to me in the past is what they did in the past, and they have no place in my present. Do you get that? The sense of peace? And I want this for each and every last person on planet Earth, and we can get there. My mission, my purpose, what God has put me to do on this earth and what I've been through, it's a mission to bring peace, love, and true equality for all mankind. So I want to help to heal you and know that you can get through betrayal. And no matter if it's your family member, your brother, your sister, your best friend of 20 years, your girlfriend, your wife, you can get through that betrayal because this is your life. This is your ticket to ride, not theirs. They have the privilege of being in your life. Do you get it? And it's a little different with like family and stuff, but you're the most important thing in this world because if you're not alive, you're not functioning, your world don't function. Forget about the haters, forget about the ones who are trying to do you harm because they don't want to see you do better in life. They don't want to see you succeed. They've invested so much to see your downfall. And for you to be the phoenix rising from the ashes, a better, stronger person, that's a nightmare for them. That's a nightmare because they've spent, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get all into it, guys. That's for another. But it affords you. This is what it does. This is what it affords you. This kind of peace I have today, guys. See this right here? Grateful are the chosen ones. That's a 3 foot by 3 foot canvas I was able to paint when I got off the streets from being homeless. I was able to find peace, some focus to do that. I have other canvases. I started woodworking. I have a life and I have peace. Do you get that? I have peace. And I have forgiven many people. I have forgiven and have moved on. Because you can't stay in the past, guys. Right? You can't, if you keep looking in the rearview mirror, your past is gonna catch up to you. It's about living in today. To give up what was the past because you can't get back what was taken, right? You can't just reach in the past and grab it. So what good does it do? Focus on you and your today. You can always build a newer, better life. You always can do that. But see, you have that residual memories, right? Oh, I remember I had this relationship. I had this car. I had these. That's all things. And the relationships that they care about you, the ones that you really, that did you well and all that, that you truly loved and they loved you, you can get that back. But what's important is getting stable for yourself and being to the point where you're sitting in your own apartment with your cat, chilling, smiling, laughing, like you have everything in life. And you realize that that betrayal was a teaching moment for you. That was a teaching moment for you. And you know what? The person that betrayed you gave up on that life, gave up on that chance, burnt that bridge. Because you're not really going to trust that person wholeheartedly anymore, right? Even if they forgive you and they mean it, right? 9 times out of 10, they don't. They just want to get back in your life. But that's still there. They chose to go all in on you. They chose to kibosh that relationship. I know you're a good person. You deserve great things in life. You just need to know that you deserve those great things in life. You need to know for yourself. And that's the magic. When you get that, when you realize you deserve that and more, and that was just a learning experience, a jumping off point for you, that's power, brother. That's power. That's knowledge. That's experience. And to work through all of that, see, each and every one of our paths are different. But some of us come out with the same pain, the same anxieties. We do. And many people you talk to won't believe you because you hadn't been there to experience it. Betrayal. That's a hard one to get over. It's a hard one because it's personal. It hits you the deepest, right? Because people who knew who you are, they knew what buttons to push, and the ones that wanted to do you dirty and wanted to see you in depression, they really wanted to beat you down. They really wanted to knock you out. They betrayed you the most, and they made sure they had family do it. You know, it's no holds barred when somebody wants to betray you, and that word in itself, when they want to betray you, they're going to do it. And it's going to hurt. I'm going to tell you, it's going to take a while, but you will get up and you'll keep fighting. You'll keep fighting for yourself, your sanity, and your future. You're meant to prosper. You're not meant to be lowly and depressed all the time. You're not meant to hurt. You're meant to experience it, but you're not meant to live in pain. You're not. So I see you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one.